Okay, so now that we're inside, I've just gotta say, I have no idea what Roddy Tops is talking about. This is definitely not a stealth dungeon. So starting off, we have a whole lot of zombies with the exact same problem that the zombies outside did. They're far too slow to do anything about you. It can be kinda difficult if you fight them, but honestly, they don't even have the advantage of nighttime anymore. At least zombies can be out in the night where they're kind of empowered a little bit, but here, nope, they just always have the same amount of HP, so you know exactly what it takes to kill each of them. So, Monkey helps here, what with being able to get through that shortcut and also get the warp squid, and you're going to be seeing a lot of monkey form, especially now that I have the claw. God, being able to attack with a monkey is so good. Alright, so sometimes Shantae is actually silhouetted by the background, as you might have noticed, and I think that lets you hide from some enemy attacks. Enemies might miss you if you do that, but it's not really a huge advantage, and it wasn't even useful against that guy because there's no shadows in the room. So, here we have the main puzzle of the dungeon, and that's pretty much just bounce puzzles. You gotta bounce this eye into the statue. Sometimes the eye has to be facing a certain way, but not here. As long as you get it into the socket, you're good, you get your key. I don't know, it's definitely slightly more difficult than, the flippy puzzles from, the first Labyrinth, but I don't know, it's okay, it's a physics puzzle. It's not fantastic, but it's, again, better than the flippy puzzle, but honestly I feel like, if anything, the magnet one is probably my favorite gimmick. Honestly, it's a simple puzzle, but it is probably the most interesting, because it's not just, hey, stop right here and do a puzzle. It's, hey, you've reached this room in the dungeon. Are you the right color? If so, then yeah, good job. You did it. Of course, this is also one of the main gimmicks of the dungeon. These eye platform things that are just one square, and they start floating in whatever direction their eye is facing towards when you land on them. So yeah, we've just got a Super Mario platforming puzzle. It's not great, but eh. It's not completely unfun, but it's not really a big thing. It's pretty much just, hey, figure out what direction you gotta go. Cause if you make any last second decisions, chances are you're gonna just drop into some spikes, cause, well, I mean, I guess, once you've set in one direction, it's not like you can really alter yourself or really need to anyway. What wrong direction would you go here that midway through you'd go, oh, well, I better try to reposition myself and then fall and die? Not really many mistakes can make, is there? I may have given that puzzle too much credit, because all the correcting you have to do is on the start of the puzzle when you get on the platform. Outside of that, it's pretty much just smooth sailing. I mean, I guess to be fair, that is a good thing, because it means, there's no haha tricked you dead end kind of things. The game isn't going to give you, a number of directions that might seem right only to kill you because you chose the wrong one. Which I guess is nice, but otherwise, not really much to it. It's just riding platforms. Again, this is a Mario gimmick. You've probably seen this type of platforming puzzle before, and man, we really fell far down. I guess they just want to give you the impression that this place is just buried deep within the earth, which, you know, as the undead dungeon, that makes sense. But yeah, honestly, I never really did notice if that shadow actually does help you fight enemies or hides you from their attacks. Oh my god, Shantae, are you alright? You kinda fucked up there, Shantae. Okay, so, yeah, this guy right here, what does that guy even do? Honestly, I've forgotten what those enemies do because it's really easy to stunlock them. They are probably some of the cooler looking enemies in the game, I really like their design, but, god. what that weird Shadow Man do? I can't tell. Don't you just hate it when you kill things too quickly and you don't know how to describe them? Because, I mean, like, what if somebody else doesn't get lucky with stun-locking them? Then I'm just gonna feel like a jerk. Alright, so, oh my... I was about to say, this is the first puzzle in which, you have to make sure the eye's in a certain direction, which basically just means solve the puzzle repeatedly. And I was about to say, there's no real indication that you have to do that, and then I realized there's a statue of the girl to the left there, so that's your indication that you need to make sure the eye is looking that way, because apparently it's a Bolo statue. That statue is just as horny on main. Oh well, anyway, yeah, there's gonna be more like that in the future, and now I have to pay attention to see if there is any indication. Because before, I was just looking at the guy, and it's like, hey, you gotta keep hitting the eye until it's facing left. Oh yeah, be careful right here, because you probably noticed before, but sometimes there are spikes in this dungeon, and those little purple things do seem to be switches, though I'm pretty sure I landed on some, and it didn't summon up spikes, so I don't even know what the deal with that is, but yeah, do be careful jumping around. It is the safer option since you're not on the ground as much, but you still might end up landing on a switch, and then getting yourself impaled a little bit. Only a little bit though, not too much. Oh hey, here's this cool lady. I believe she has like stretchy arms, right? That's her thing. She jumps around, jumps in the air, tries to punch you. Stun locking her pretty well, but she does have a lot of HP, so I'm pretty sure she does get to do a thing, right? No? Huh. Well, we'll see more of her later, so don't worry, we haven't completely lost a pattern. God, I'm surprised I did manage to get such a good stun lock, though. Like, honestly, enemies in this game are pretty good at not getting stun locked. Like, the Naga Desert enemies, and all the, following desert enemies as well. Or Naga Wasteland, rather, that wasn't really a desert. But yeah, they're pretty good at not getting stun locked, but a mini-boss? No. So the difficulty there, of course, is the fact that the statue's head is raised, but otherwise, it doesn't have to be facing a specific way, so it's a little bit easier. Actually, to be fair, one of the major reasons this puzzle is a lot better than the rotate-a-majig puzzles from the first Labyrinth is the fact that there is actually a progression to them. Like, each one you see is different in, like, ways that actually feel like they're a little more difficult. I mean, in fairness, like, the other one was also different, like, there were different gimmicks to the turning things puzzle, but, like, I don't know, it felt like they didn't really feel like incremental difficulties, it just felt like it was doing a slightly different thing, whereas here, it was actually changing, like, how the puzzle works. And oh, it wasn't a stretchy arm punch, it was actually just a, pitchfork or whatever. Anyway, though, here we have a very freaky looking mini-boss. God, those skulls are terrifying. Basically, it'll just... little weird ghosty image is just going to switch to a different skull, and then after a few seconds it'll fire a thing at you. But honestly, this mini-boss is made a lot easier with the monkey because it can jump so high. So Monkey Claw really helps you here because if you didn't have it, you'd have to use normal Shantae, jump up to the platforms, and then hit the skulls, but here it's just easy pickings. So because they really can't do anything to attack me, then it's just a matter of draining their HP, which honestly was not a big deal. So now it seems like we're trapped in this area, because not a lot of ways up, and any way that can lead up is full of danger, so I wonder if we're going to find anything new, as if I didn't already know. Of course I would prefer to get rid of this enemy first, because that'll perma-kill it. Gotta get her out of the way, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. You can avoid her if you want to, or you can fight her. You might get hit later if you avoid her now, but it's not a big deal either way. So, got another Guardian Genie. I feel really bad for ya, cause man, this is like the worst place to be guarding. Next off, we get the Spider Dance. Future me will probably just add the song Spider Dance in, especially now that I've mentioned it. I mean, how can you not? By the way, one thing I haven't mentioned is, I like how all of the transformation abilities have really similar button inputs. So you can remember the beginning, it's pretty much just a matter of, do you remember which direction leads to the next one? So, we've got the spider form. Unlike Elephant, it does not start with an attack because it's another mobility option. One that's a little less fun to use than the monkey, but nonetheless it is quite useful. Of course, webs aren't the only thing it can climb. Pretty much any time there's a background, the spider can climb it. That being said, though, climbing is really helpful since it gets you past a lot of obstacles that the monkey couldn't get past due to spikes or something, but it's still not our best mobility option. And honestly, overall, I still think that the monkey is one of the most fun transformations to use in the game, if I'm being honest. Elephant's powerful, and Spider has its uses, but at the same time, like, the monkey is just so fun to control, and especially when you don't have to de-transform to attack, then monkey just gets really fun to use, which is why I'm always in this form. I don't have to deal with de-transforming every once in a while, so it's less of a pain, and therefore, I opt to have better mobility almost all the time. Of course, like I mentioned in the last video, sometimes the monkey isn't great for jumping or platforming sections, rather. Just generally when they're smaller platforms, which is why it is good to use Shantae for, like, the eyeball thingamajig platforms, whatever you'd call those. Because those are just a single box. Alright, and we're transforming into a monkey again, because why not? Alright, let's see, next puzzle. This is the one with two eyes. I believe they have to both be up, right? Yep, up. Alright, so be careful not to hit the other eye out of its socket once you move on to this one. Because otherwise you ruin all your hard work, and you don't want that, right? Probably why I went with monkey, you know. It does have a shorter reach, which is technically usually a problem. But not here, it actually helps. God. The statue just looks goofy. And I guess it's reacting to the giant thing in the ceiling that looks like it could crush it. Though, honestly, that seems like a very obscure hint if that is the case. Like, the indication isn't as obvious, and you have to slot in two eyes, so you could probably guess that they both have to be looking in the same direction. Then you just have to figure out what that direction is. And I don't know, maybe it's just a very nervous statue. It could just be looking down. You don't know. Alright, what's in this room? Not recognizing this one at all, honestly. Oh, we might actually be at the end, because we just have this big ol' spider climb room. I think that's one of the other problems with the spider is, it doesn't exactly make for the most memorable platforming challenges. You kinda just climb, and that's it. It's pretty much the same thing every time, and indeed, we're at the end, because we have all these vases with hearts in them, so big heart, and here's another stone. Oh darn. Wishful thinking on your part, Shantae. Yeah, I kinda figured out that's what you'd use that for. That's the more obvious application, and there goes Risky yet again. She really does not have good luck with this. Alright, so this guy is probably the hardest boss in the game. At the very least, he feels like an HP sponge. I think the spider can climb those background things, but honestly, I really didn't find Spider useful at all against this boss. Elephant is probably the most useful in terms of like boss fights, just because you have to use it to reveal the boss's weakness. The monkey is used to dodge an attack you might not see if you kill it fast enough. Here it's just like, you don't at any point need the spider to dodge this guy, so why would I waste time transforming? Especially when one of the biggest obstacles here is this guy slowly walking into you, or turning into a ball and quickly climbing the walls, and if you're dancing while that's happening, well, good job, you're gonna get hit. Now, I feel like the more you damage this guy, the faster this goes, but I'm pretty sure he's gone slower than this, like, after this point. Sometimes it feels like he just chooses whatever speed he feels like, and goddamn, I really wish he couldn't do this as often. I don't know, part of me feels like I slowed this battle down by accident by using the kick instead of just hair attacking him, but I don't know, I'm pretty sure this does more damage, so I thought it was a good idea at the time. Drill is almost completely useless here though, because this guy's hitbox is so big that there's just a really good chance that if you use Drill, you might hit him, but it's more likely you're just gonna wind up in his chin and taking damage from that, which nobody wants that. It's annoying. And speaking of annoying, honestly, that's pretty much this boss in a nutshell. Again, I feel like I did the wrong thing by trying to flip kick him a whole lot, because I think that made him do his little Sonic the Hedgehog attack more often, and see? He's doing it slower now. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that triggered the Sonic the Hedgehog spin dash a little more often. But, I don't know. I also had some takes where I think I just did some normal attacks and maybe that didn't make a difference. I don't know. I'd want to look at two full versions of this fight to see if there was a difference, but I was tired of this boss by the time I was done with it. Because I took a lot of stupid hits from this guy. Even when I wasn't taking stupid hits on the successful run. This was just a really slow battle. Like, the previous boss I took stupid hits on, but the actual take was just so fast. It was really easy to do that boss. This guy just takes forever. Okay, that's done with. I don't even like his design that much. He's just a weird turtle troll thing. I don't know what he is. Just a big ol' blue turtle troll that rolls up constantly and ruins your day. Oh well, we've got the Simmerstone. You'd think Risky would have tried to stop us from getting one of these, but I guess she just gets tossed straight out of the world anytime that happens to her. Well, you see, in a way it's out of spite, because we want to get these so that someone else can't have them. But in this case, a pirate wants them, so it's good spite. I mean, hearing a steam engine referred to as a doomsday device is kinda weird, but it makes sense in context. I mean, technically speaking, she needs all four to make a steam engine, so like, we've pretty much stopped her as is. She'll probably chase us, sure, but she'll chase us if we have all four anyway, and I mean, yeah, sure, she can make ice now or whatever, but she can't make the metal encasing for the engine. Okay, so, unfortunately, it did turn to day while we were speaking, so the zombie caravan's probably gone by now. Yeah, the Twinkle Stone seems like the least useful out of all of them. Okay, apparently Shantae and I are on the same wavelength, though. I mean, I guess not as much as she is, you know, considering her outfit. I don't wear that in public, let me tell ya. Don't think anybody's surprised. So, that's it for Cackle Mound. I'd say that's probably my second favorite dungeon, maybe? I don't know. The labyrinths in this game aren't great. But it's over and done with, so next time on Shantae, we head out from Mount Pointy in search of the final labyrinth.